Hello everybody, my name is Marloe and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Survival, where in the last episode we made a whole bunch of custom trees and placed in this pathway that connects up pretty much every build with the exception of a couple that we've done so far in this series. And as I mentioned in the last episode, I really love how this now looks. Since we made so much good progress on this specific part of the base in the last episode, today I would actually like to start a whole new project which is not technically in the mountains here. It's actually right at the bottom of the mountain, so still in our base area I suppose, but not actually on the snowy peaks. I would like to tackle this ginormous hole that we have in the ground here. So a few episodes ago, I asked you guys for some build ideas of what we should do around this hole, trying to incorporate it into part of the base. And a lot of people said something about mining, whether it was to build some mine shafts down in the cave itself here, or make a giant drill on the surface digging out the hole itself. All of which led to the idea of some sort of mining outpost. I'm basically going to make a bunch of buildings around here and other bits of machinery, all centered around this hole where some miners would work and pick up resources and bring them up to the surface here. So I've got a pretty good idea on what I'm going to be building up here on the surface, but I haven't really done too much thought into what I'm going to be building down in the cave itself, other than a couple of things that we're going to be doing today. One of them is some railway tracks going... Did I just look at that Enderman? I glazed over him with my mouse and he disappeared. Hopefully he doesn't come up behind me and push me in. One of them is some minecart tracks going across, maybe just 2 or 3 in a straight line with some minecarts on them. I think that could be a really nice thing to add into the cave here, get some animation on the go and make it feel very, very alive. The other thing is some sort of crane that's going to be able to lift ores up from the bottom of the cave to the surface here. And then what we do with those ores up here on the surface, I'm gonna explain a little bit later. I'm not sure if you guys get this too, but whenever I'm about to start a new building project that's gonna take a little while to finish, not something I can do all in one episode, I find myself getting a little bit overwhelmed. So just to start us off here, we're going to begin with a very simple build, and that is actually going to be the minecart rail lines, the tracks going all the way across the caves here. They're not going to be anything complicated like we did the other episode with that rail line going all the way around our mountains. They're just going to be straight lines, so it shouldn't take too long and will just be a nice stepping stone to help me just make a start with the project. These bridges make our crater here so much cooler, and we've just added in that and that alone. I absolutely love it. I think it looks awesome, and it's going to look so much better when we actually have a minecart going across all of these. And what I'm going to do with that is connect all of the bridges up so they're all on one continuous rail and just have one minecart going across all of them instead of having 3 different minecarts for each bridge. That way it's going to be a bit more of a rare chance to actually see the minecart, and it'll just be more fun and exciting if we manage to get a glimpse of it going across one of the bridges here. So before we add in the rail and connect up all of the bridges here, I have to make the endpoints a little bit neater. I've had to build this in a pattern. As you can see, there's 5 blocks in between each of the logs, so I am going to have to do a little bit of shaping of the terrain just to make it all a bit smoother. For example, that one goes too far, so I'm going to need to flatten that one down. That one up there doesn't quite go far enough, and then down the bottom isn't actually too bad. Also, at the end of this one, we have a waterfall up there just behind that stone block, and I thought it'd be kind of cool if we could keep the waterfall and just kind of have it go around the bridge. I might have to modify the end bit a little bit here so it doesn't flood the track. I know, it's glorious. You just cannot beat a waterfall entrance. So all I've really done here is just place some trapdoors on the front with some blocks behind it, just to keep the water from flowing over the front and keeping it off the rail. And I've made it look nice and flush, and we can just go directly through it, which is awesome. And as for the other ends of the rail line, I've just made them, as I said, nice and smooth, so it goes completely flat-ish with the side of the cave. Of course, I now have the tricky task of linking all of these bridges up. I'm thinking if I just mark down the coordinates of all of the ends to the rail line here, it shouldn't be too hard, and I can just dig my way there. The rail in the mountain, or in the cave, sorry, isn't going to be on show, so it doesn't really matter how I get there. As long as they link up and the rail can actually follow all the way through, that's all that really matters. Wait for it. Wait for it. Come on, any second now. There it is. There goes our minecart chest along the rail, and it will eventually go down and come out at that entrance, go into the waterfall, go down, come out at that one, go in that side. As you can see, there it goes again, and it will come back and loop around and rinse and repeat until some sort of chunk error eventually stops the minecart moving. That always seems to happen with our super smelter building here. This one, it's constantly still. I think it's because it's so slow moving. It's not really got any momentum behind it. It just constantly freezes whenever I unload and load chunks. So yeah, this is stationary most of the time. Hopefully the one in the hole won't be the same. With the minecart rail lines now in position, we can get started on the second build of today's episode, which is going to be the crane. That's going to go around about here, I think. That will be bringing the ores up from the bottom of the hole all the way up to the surface here. And I'm trying to decide whether I want the platform that's going to hold all of the ores to be near the top of the surface or quite far down the hole. Oh my goodness, look at all those glowinks. Glowinks? Well, they're glow squids. They drop glowing sacks. I think I would rather have it towards the top, then you can kind of see it instead of having a really long chain all the way down. Oh no. If you're wondering why I'm saying oh no several times, it's because I was specifically going to build the crane here so that it would bring the ores up from this point, but obviously there's a bridge in the way. Okay, I don't know what to do now. Okay, I've given myself some time to gather my thoughts, and I've had to think about what to do, and I don't think I'm as screwed as I thought I was. Well, I was never completely screwed. I could always just move this bridge. It wouldn't have been the end of the world. But I think we have enough room in between this cross-section of bridges to kind of put the crane down this gap right here. The size of the platform is roughly 7 by 5 blocks, and if we just take another look down, yeah, we definitely got enough room. It's just going to be a bit closer to this corner of the hole than I would like it to be. So I think the first step is going to be to build the platform itself and get that positioned first of all, and then we can work on the actual crane system up here afterwards. I now present a magical floating platform. It's beautiful, isn't it? I know, work of art, done with the build, episode over. No, not at all. This has still got quite a lot of work to add to it, but as I said, I just wanted to get the platform positioned first of all, and as you can see, we narrowly avoid clashing with the waterfall and also the bridge. This block, it's right in the corner here where I just fell and nearly plummeted to my death because I forgot to activate my elytra. So technically, yes, this would work if we could lower it down to the bottom of the cave. It's very, very close to the corner here, so we're going to have to do quite a bit of terraforming just to shape the hole and remove some of the stone here. But now I'm going to go ahead and get started with connecting it to the chain lift system at the surface there. So the idea, of course, is this lift system goes all the way down to the bottom, picks up the ores, brings them up to the top here, kind of level with this outline that we have out of spruce, and then I'm going to build some sort of conveyor belt system at the edge here that will take the ores up to the sorting building, which is what we're going to get started on right now. And I am going to explain to you guys how the ore sorting building is going to work in regards to the rest of the mining operation project here. But I think it makes more sense if I do that after I've built it. Before we start making the ore sorting building, I do need to harvest some of my fully oxidized copper here because that is needed for the build. Now, not all of it has been fully oxidized, especially the lot at the back here. I'm guessing they just haven't been loaded enough because these two haven't even moved an inch. They've stayed at the normal copper. So I'm going to go around and grab all of these, the ones that are the most oxidized copper can be. And then we can make a start on the build. So here is the ore smelting building that is now connected to the crane we've already built with a conveyor belt made out of polished black stone. That was a dark enough block, a nice texture, and it had slabs to, you know, have a gradual incline. So I think it's a pretty good block for a conveyor belt. And as you can see, it's taking all of the ores up that would come up on the crane here into the building itself, so they can just somehow I haven't thought too much about it, but would end up on the conveyor belt here and then get taken on up inside the building itself. And a little thing I want to mention is you can actually see where the secondary conveyor belt would wrap around to, so I've added in some grindstones underneath here. If I just hop down, you can see that's maybe some sort of wheel mechanism wrapping it back round under the ground and looping around like a conveyor belt does. So I thought that was a neat little detail that nobody would notice nor even really question if I didn't just show you, but now you know. But anyway, the ores get taken inside of the building here and they end up on these lines of grindstones. Now these are not grindstones, no, they are another conveyor belts. Now I wanted to build something that was a bit more detailed, but I made the building and then realized how little space I actually had in here. So my conveyor belt system and sorting system for the ores is just going to be several lines of grindstones. I know it's not really the best looking thing in the world. Ideally, I would like to have some more room to add some more details and make the actual conveyor belt sorting system here a little bigger and longer and having some more intricacies to it, but with the space I have, this is really all I can do. But of course, you're more than welcome to suggest some things down in the comments below. So the idea for this building is, of course, as you may have guessed, it's sorting the ores, and they go off into 4 different lines here. I've just got any of these and you can kind of see what it shoots out like. So the ore would just get dumped onto this spot right here, and eventually there's going to be a minecart on all of these sections. Now we may not use minecarts to transport the ores in the finished build, it's just kind of a placeholder for right now because I can't think of anything better at the moment, but they would land in the minecarts and then get taken off to a separate building that then do something with that specific ore. Or ores, the plural of ore. more than one ore. So the sections that I'm going to be splitting them up into is one of them is going to be for diamonds and emeralds, like a gem building that we're going to make. Another one is going to be for lapis, lapis and redstone. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with them. Maybe we could smelt lapis down into some sort of liquid and do something fun with that. Could be cool. Another one is going to be for coal, and then that one can then again be redistributed to one that's going to send all of the iron, copper, and gold, because those are just regular old metals. So that's kind of the idea. I thought it was a fun little thing that we could build and make these singular buildings that are kind of designated to the specific ore types and just have some fun with it, you know, rather than doing something like I've done in the past where you make some sort of building like this and it always just gets smelted up instead of being sorted first of all. I like the idea. I'm not sure how it's going to go or where we're going to go with it, but I'm excited for it. So this is when I need your guys' help. As I mentioned, I had some rough ideas of what I wanted to do with the ores, but nothing really set in stone. So what do you think we should do in all of these separate buildings for all of the individual ores? I'm thinking for these ones, we just smelt them up and send them on their way. Nothing too special. For the coal, as I said, we're just going to redistribute it back to here because these are, of course, going to have some sort of furnaces in them. So that's going to be needed just to make a fuel source. I'm not really sure what we can do with the diamond and emerald. I was thinking crush them down, but then I thought you can't. It's virtually impossible to crush diamonds, so maybe we just store them in some sort of treasury. And then over here with the lapis and the redstone, I thought we could have some real fun with this. As I mentioned, lapis possibly being turned into some sort of liquid. We could use purple glass and do something fun there. And redstone, maybe we turn it into an actual dust instead of storing it in block form. Not sure how we can build that, but that's my ideas. But if you've got any different ones, always drop them in the comments and I'll have a read through. So in this general area surrounding the giant hole we have in the ground is going to be at least 5 buildings. The sorter and then the 4 separate buildings for all of the ores. We're of course going to build some other things, but if we just dot 5 buildings that are around this size, I think that should actually nicely cover the hole with some sort of cosmetic build. I don't think we need to expand too highly in this place, otherwise it's going to kind of detract away from the actual base, because a lot of my builds so far in this world are very spaced out. I don't want to have too many close together, but I think that should look really kind of cool when it's done, and just a fun idea to do something with this naturally generating hole. Now you may have noticed the only ores in our ore sorting system are copper, coal and iron, and that's because those are the only ores I have in this block form. I don't have diamond, I don't have emerald. Actually, I think I have emerald, but I don't have lapis, redstone or gold either. None of those. So I need to do a mining trip, but this is a bit of a weird mining trip because I'm not actually doing it to gather resources exactly. It's more building blocks. Now, of course, the trouble is I can't really go too low down because I specifically just want to keep it to regular ores, not really deep slate ores, otherwise things are going to get complicated. So I just need to watch for the Y levels that I'm on. Plus, I'm also in a cave that I've pretty much thoroughly searched through, so maybe I should go out here and find another one. I found myself some lapis. That did not take too long at all. Not sure if it's going to be the same for the next ones, though. Quick question. Is it even possible to get normal redstone? Or does it always form in the deep slate level? Because if so, that is a bit of a problem. There is actually a way to check. I can look at my statistics here and hope to God that there's a redstone ore, and yes there is. Okay, I've mined 67. That's quite a few. Okay, hopefully I can find one somewhere. I should probably go up a little bit though. Well, I found some gold. That is always good. Only, nope, 4, nope, 6, nope, 8, nope, 9. Wow, I started that thinking I was just getting 2. And we left with 9. Okay, that's kind of awesome. Aha, it is possible. Some redstone. Only 4, but that's fine. I don't honestly need too many of each ore type. So now all that remains is diamond, because I have emerald at home and we also already have the other 3 too. I feel really bad leaving all of these ores because there are so many that I'm walking past, but I simply do not need it. We've got an iron farm, I've got infinite amounts of copper it feels like, and coal, I just can't be bothered to mine coal to be honest. I am really not having much luck on the diamond front, so Deep Slate starts at 0 on the Y level, at least I think so, or around there, and diamonds generate between Y15 and Y minus 63. So more often than not, they are Deep Slate diamonds, which really aren't much use to me. I may have to just scrap the idea of only using regular ores and move to both of them as well if this carries on, because I really don't have all day and I don't just want to spend it down in here looking for a block to build with. I think I may have just found an impossible find. Deep Slate Emerald. I'll be honest with you guys, I thought they took this out of the game entirely. I didn't think this was possible. Maybe I'm getting the odds wrong, but I thought they generated too low down to be in Deep Slate at all. Let me do some research, because I have a feeling that I've just gotten really, really lucky. Well, according to my research, emeralds generate in a mountain biome for one, and that is between Y level 256 build height, right? Yeah, build height, and minus 16. So it's not impossible, but it's very, very rare. Let's make sure this is Silk Touch. Yes, it is. And you, sir, are coming home with me. You guys can, of course, let me know if this is an incredibly rare find or just semi-rare. Am I over-exaggerating a little bit? I honestly have no idea. I'm thinking it's maybe not that rare because I've just found another one. Or I'm the luckiest person in the world. Either way, I'm gonna take it. If I am the luckiest person in the world, I'm also simultaneously the unluckiest person in the world because I still cannot find any stinking diamonds that are above Deep Slate. Oh, this could end badly. Nope, we're fine. I'm having the sudden realization that I don't think I've ever mined a regular diamond ore. I cannot for the life of me find it in this list here. And if I have, I mean, we're approaching single digits here. It's not looking likely that I'm gonna be able to find one in this episode. I've mined more Deep Slate coal ore, which is a very rare block in itself, than I apparently have regular diamond. Maybe I have something extremely wrong and that it doesn't even generate at all. I've had a look online and I can't really find a specific answer for whether the block actually exists in survival. I'm sure you guys will know, so you can let me know in the comments, but for right now I honestly have no idea and I'm running out of time for today's episode, so I'm gonna have to take the ores that I have home with me now. I do have 5 Deep Slate diamond ore, which I guess we can use, but I'll maybe wait and see what you guys say first. There we go. I have changed out some of the ores for a few more colourful ones along the conveyor belt too, as well as inside, so we have a nice range of ores minus diamond. I'm not sure what we're going to do about that. Very excited to read the comments on today's episode. I'm looking forward to hear what you guys have to say, but for right now everybody, that is going to do it for today's episode. So thank you ever so much for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.